Hi guys, welcome to the distributive property. So let's start off with reminding ourselves or defining the word distributive. So the word distribute is going to mean to give. And in math, when we distribute something, when we're giving it to something, we're going to distribute by multiplication. So let's look at the first example, the first line of example. I'll just number this real quick. So we have reference points. All right, so the first when do we distribute? I guess that could be a good question is we distribute when there is a term, which is a number or a letter outside of the parentheses. So here I have A on the outside of these parentheses. And that means that I'm going to go ahead and distribute the A into everything inside the parentheses. So because this has two terms, I'm going to go ahead and distribute it to both terms. So when I distribute, I get A times B plus A times C. Right, you're giving the A to both the B and the C. Looking down to the next one, it's the same thing. Have that A. I verify it's distributing with those parentheses. And I'm going to go ahead and distribute in. The only thing that's different is that I do have a minus C, so a negative C. So it'll be A times B. And then A times negative C, so negative A times C. So just don't lose track of that negative sign. How about on this, on the third line? I have A plus parentheses B plus C. You're like, okay, is there anything to distribute? If we look closely, there is nothing. It's like there's nothing there. There's a space, there's a gap. If you want to be technical, we are distributing technically a 1. There's a 1 in front. But remember, if we're distributing a 1, we're multiplying everything by 1, nothing changes. So that means that these parentheses, they just get dropped. So they just get dropped out. Right? And then now it's just A plus B plus C. Because we're distributing the 1 just breaks apart the parentheses. And the second one, it's a little bit different. Now we have, instead of 1, we have a negative 1 on the fourth line. This negative 1, I'm going to distribute it to the B and the C. So I have A from the beginning. Don't lose track of your A. I have A from the beginning. And then the A is still there. Now I have negative 1 times B, which will give us negative B. And then negative 1 times C, which will give us negative C. And then the next two examples are relatively the same. Again, we're distributing here a plus 1. That means we're just dropping parentheses. We're just erasing out these parentheses. We get A plus B minus C. But on the last one, remember this is a negative 1. So you have to distribute a negative 1 into here, which comes out to A, and then negative B, and then plus C. Because it's negative 1 times negative C, which is positive C. Okay, so here's the here's your walkthrough for the distributive property.